Hey there people, my name is Cubankler Music and welcome to All About Serum, Episode 1. This series I'm going to be going over Serum and how to use it and stuff. So that way you can make basses and sounds like I do. Because I was thinking about, how I put out all these tutorials and presets and stuff, and patches for Serum, but if you don't know how it all works, then you're not really getting a lot out of it. So I feel like you should know that. And if you learn what everything does, then you will be able to make bass sounds too, or lead sounds or whatever. Oh, I don't think my camera's focused in on me. Is it? I can't tell. Let's find out. I believe it is. Okay, so let's go into FL. Actually, one thing before I start this is, you know how I had that issue where you can't see drop-down menus? Yeah, you're going to have to deal with that during this. But every time that I click on something like these wavetables, I'll tell you what I am picking, so you can follow along as well. So, let's get started. This section is going to be on oscillators. So, the oscillator section. So, if you open up Serum, this is the first thing you'll see in your different tabs here, your oscillator, effects, matrix, and global. It will, by default, be on the oscillator tab, and you will see this. This is what the initialized preset looks like. If you click this right here, you will see an init preset button. You can click this, and then there you go. That's your initialized preset. It's one oscillator on with a saw wave. Now I'm going to go ahead and assume you already know what an oscillator is. I'm probably going to do a basic synthesis tutorial. But yeah, this is an oscillator, right? You have basic waveform choices, but for right now, it's on saw. By the way, gotta say one more thing. If you're looking for wavetables and me talking about custom wavetables, that's going to be an entirely different episode. I'm just going to talk about these oscillator controls such as detune, blend, these warp types, fine tune, or fine pitch, coarse pitch, all that stuff. So if you're looking for wavetables, that's going to be in a different episode. I haven't recorded that yet, but I know it's going to be a thing, because I've already planned this out. So, yes, if I hit a note, you hear a saw wave, right? Yeah, so if you want to warp it, or whatever, or just mess with it, these are your controls here. So here we have our wavetable position, which doesn't really apply here, seeing as it's just a saw wave. But I'll show you what it would do. If I go onto the analog basic shapes wavetable, click that, it's by default a sine wave. But if I turn the wavetable position up, I get saw wave, triangle wave, square, pulse width modified square, even more pulse width modified, and then sort of a saw thingy. Yeah. We'll turn on saw wave for now. Yes, that is that. If you want to see all of your wavetable options, you can click it, and it goes into the 3D wavetable or waveform viewer, so you can see this. Whoop, it clicks through. Not all of them are super stuttery waveforms, though. If I go into spectral and then select the Monster 4 wavetable, you can see that it's all very flowy, right? Each one morphs into the next one. You can see it like this as well, wavetable position. Yeah, however, I'm going to go back to our saw wave here. And this is just a saw wave, even though it looks slightly different from this one. The view is just a little bit different. It is the same thing, I assure you. Yeah. Okay, so if I make a sound, you can hear it sounds basically the same every time, but actually there's phase randomness going on. Phase is essentially where the wavetable, or where you start playing through the waveform. And right now, randomness is engaged all the way. So you can see these yellow bars covering it. If it's turned all the way up, that means that the phase will randomly pick up any position in the waveform to start. Now you can't really tell because it basically sounds all the same. If it was like something more complicated, then you'd probably be able to tell. If I turn it down, it'll always start right there. Or yeah, I can make it start wherever I want. For now, I'm going to. By the way, I right-clicked and I clicked reset control. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here is the level. This is very self-explanatory. This is just the volume. Here, reset that. Yeah. This is the pan, which you will probably also know what pan does. Yep, there you go. And then this one might not be so self-explanatory. This is the warp menu. If you click this, you will see a whole list right here, which I can't show you again. of different warp types, and I'm going to go through what they are. It essentially warps your wavetable into different things. This is sync with no window, which essentially duplicates your waveform. This is sync half window. I apologize, this might get a little bit high pitched, so you might want to turn your volume down. And this is sync window. Here is bend plus, and this is bend minus. Here is bend plus minus. And then this is pulse width modified. I'll show you this one on a square wave, because this will make more sense to you. Pulse width modified square wave. This is already pulse width modified. Yeah. And then this is asymmetrical. Asymmetrical plus, I should say. Asymmetrical minus. Asymmetrical plus minus. And then here's flip. Mirror. Pretty cool. Remap. And now these are, okay, remap. These are a little different. As you'll see, when you click this one, this little pencil tool comes up. When you click it, luckily you are able to see this window here. Oh, I can't move it? I thought I could move it. Okay, yeah. Here's your remap editor. You can decide what it does. You can like make it double click to add a point, just like in the LFO section. You can like add something like that. Or you can add something like this. Or you can do some crazy stuff to like add a whole bunch of warp. Pretty neato. And then remap 2 is the same thing, except just does it twice with the waveform. Same with 4. And this is quantize. Essentially takes all the little steps and quantizes them. Now this is FM. I'm going to turn on a different oscillator. If you don't know what FM synthesis is, then I really don't have time to go into it right now, I'm sorry. So I'm going to turn on a sine wave and I'm going to turn down the level on the second oscillator. Second oscillator acts the exact same as the first oscillator, and I'm going to turn on FM from B. No, I'm going to use another sine wave. Yeah. Let me reinitialize our preset here. Let's see what that Skype message is. Okay, there we go. So, yeah. Let me see, what other warp types have I missed? AM from B, amplitude modulation. RM from B, ring modulation. FM from the noise oscillator, which this is our noise oscillator, which I will talk about in a minute. And this is our sub-frequency oscillator. And I think that's it, right? And then there's just off, where it does nothing. Which you don't really need, because if you have anything here, you can just leave it all the way down. But yeah, by default, it is set to off. Now, let me see. We've done phase, randomness, pin level. Okay, unison. Unison, you probably know what unison is, but I'm going to do a quick explanation because it doesn't take as long to explain as, say, FM. Unison is just a whole bunch of different voices. If you imagine this like a choir or something, this is just one saw wave singing by itself right now. And if you add a second voice, they're super detuned right now, so I'll turn down the detune. Okay, also with the detune thing, right in the middle there, I can't move my mouse or else it'll go away, but right there in the middle is the original pitch, and then the closer I move it, you gotta find that sweet spot. Yeah, so now there's a second voice singing along with it, and it's basically the same, it sounds the same, it's just there's another voice, right? It also gets a little bit louder each time, but you can just turn on the volume of the oscillator or the master to accommodate. And also, the phase is slightly different, because I talked about phase randomness earlier. Not only is the first voice picking a random phase, but the second one is also picking a completely different random phase to start at. So they could happen to be the same thing, but they're probably not going to be. We can add more. We can add up to 16 voices of unison. However, if I'm making like giant chords, I tend to do like 7, because the bigger the chord, the more notes I hit, then the harder it is going to be on my CPU. So you gotta be careful with that. So if you add up a whole bunch and then hit like a big chord. Started using like 20 of my, or 20 CPU up there, 20%. I think that's percent, I don't know. Yeah, you can adjust the detune. Now you notice that there's some green bars there and some yellow ones, right? You see that? I can't really. Yeah, there's 2 yellow bars and 6 green bars, right? Here's there's just one now. Yeah. If there is an odd, or if there's an even number of voices of unison, then there's going to be an even number of yellow bars. If there's an odd, then there's going to be 1 yellow bar. So there's going to be 2 on even, 1 on odd, right? And then on 1 unison, you can't really detune it at all because it just stays like that. So 9 voices of unison. Let's add 9, right? So this is the detune. The 1 or 2 always stay in the middle or quite close to each other. But you can change the blend. This is the volume, right? So you see how the yellow is higher? The yellow bars go up higher than the green bars. If we turn up the blend, then you can see that the more detuned oscillators, or more detuned voices, I should say, go higher up, or louder. And then we can change the blend. So we can make it really detuned, but you'll only really be able to hear part of it. Pretty cool. Reinitialize this preset over here. Yeah. And you can do some fun things with phase randomness. Like, for instance, if I turn on 16 voices of unison and turn off phase randomness, and also turn down the detune. Pretty cool sounding, right? And you can, like, actually, I'm not going to talk about envelopes yet. So, yeah, that is that. Actually, not quite. There's octave buttons, or octave up here. Yeah, semitones. In case you're really lazy and don't want to hit other notes, or you want to modulate with an LFO, or you want to make like a chord while just hitting one note, like say you want to do a perfect fifth sort of thing, you can like do some cool perfect fifth chord where if I just hit an E, or whatever. Yeah. And then here's the fine pitch. Reset that control. And then here's the coarse pitch, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more. Yeah, which I generally use mostly for, whatchamacallit, vibrato. Sorry, couldn't think of what I was trying to say there. Let me see, how long have we been going? Man, just hit 13 minutes there. It's going to be pretty long. Still got to talk about the sub-frequency oscillator and the noise oscillator. So, let's start with the sub-frequency oscillator. Serum has a dedicated sub-frequency oscillator, which only has 6 different waveforms that it can do. It can do a sine, it can do a round rectangle, which is like a square that's rounded off, triangle, saw, square, plus with modified square. And it doesn't have nearly the amount of controls that the other 2 oscillators do, but you can affect the pan, the level, and the octave. Now you see this direct out button here? This direct out, oh, I forgot to mention, in case you don't know, this light just tells you whether the oscillator is on or not, but you probably guessed that already. Yeah, this direct out, I will talk about, no, I'll talk about now. So let's say I have some stuff here, right? Let's say I have these, okay, let's say I have like a pulse width modified square wave and a saw wave, right? And I have a filter that's affecting everything. So, yeah, it's affecting everything. A low-pass filter. Bro. So you can hear the sub and the saw. If I hit this direct out, unless I have like some distortion on it or something, and a phase or something, and a filter, I can't choose whether I want this distortion to affect this or not. So if I want the sub-frequency oscillator to not be affected by anything, because I want the sub to be nice and clean, I can just hit direct out. And the filter won't affect it, the distortion won't affect it, the phaser won't affect it, nothing will affect it. It's just nice and clean. Now here we have a noise oscillator, which is kind of a little bit weird, right? If you click this option, you'll see you have 6 options here. I don't know if you can, if you click this wave table, sort of, not really a wave table. You have 6 options. I don't know if you can import your own or not. of noise oscillators. Let's say I'm gonna go to SOR, which I don't know what it stands for. I rarely use the noise oscillator. Then select Atmos 18. Can't really hear this. Turn the level all the way up. Let's try Atmos 11. Pretty interesting. Like some of them you want to loop. And if I click like attacks and miscellaneous, like attacks for kick, these are kick attacks, right? If you want to make your own kick drums in Serum. It's like, oops, I missed there. Click XF kick attack 45. You'll also notice that it's not affected by what note I play. That's because these two options right here are not selected. You also affect the phase of this. Phase does affect pitch, but like if you don't, yeah, randomness, phase randomness, level, pan, and pitch. Yeah, whatever. If I click this, right now the way it sounds like this, because it doesn't really sound like a kick attack, does it? It sort of sounds almost like a saw wave, maybe. If I click this button right here, or what it's doing is it's looping really, really fast. The sound is looping when I hold it. So if I click this, it won't loop anymore. It's just a click for the attack for your kick. If I pick like this one, maybe. Well, let's pick a louder one. Yeah, if you click this, then it'll also be affected by the note you play. Oh my god. Please tell me. Oh my goodness. Don't tell me. Hang on. Dude. Oh my goodness. I think I haven't been recording my... I think I haven't been recording my audio. I'll check this afterwards. If I have been, then this will be up. If it hasn't, you won't see this. Dear God, I hope not, because I've spent nearly 20 minutes on this tutorial right now. Yeah, that's basically it though, I think. Please, God, tell me this was recording my audio and not just through my mic. Although, actually, you'll probably see this either way, because it doesn't really matter how well this sounds, right? Yeah. So, I think that is basically it. Let me see, do I have anything else to talk about? Let me see, I've gone through basically everything, right? Yeah, actually I'll talk about some more of these. Like, there's organics, like, let me see, there's some glass ping ones, I think. Glass lids, yeah. Or no. Can't really hear it. It loops really fast, right? You can... And like you can add like a little clock, right? Actually, no phaser. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty neato, right? So you can do all sorts of cool things. You can also FM from the noise, as I said earlier. However, the sub-frequency noise oscillators cannot be FM'd by another oscillator. They can only FM other oscillators. If you understood what I was trying to say there. Good. Okay, that's basically everything, I think. For the oscillator section, at least. I still haven't gotten into modulation and all that fun stuff. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Next time we will be talking about the filters, I believe, or maybe envelopes and LFOs. Actually, yes, we'll be talking about filters and the effects section next time. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and yeah, I hope I've been recording my audio. See you next time.